my name is Farah and welcome to my channel where today I'll be making you a Lebanese feast, honey. It is Arab American Heritage Month. We have nothing to do but cook and kind of get back to these domestic arts, and I'm going to give you some art in the form of a really yummy Lebanese, Syrian, Palestinian feast. Up close to my ingredients, I have the parsley for the tabbouleh, the sunflower oil that I'm going to fry the kibbie in, some Farah olive oil, garlic salt, pepper, salt, cumin, and cinnamon, pine nuts for the hashwi, which is inside kibbie, radishes I'm going to dress the tabbouleh with, and then ground beef. Now, definitely in kibbie you can use lamb, but I'm going to use ground beef. It's extra lean. I had to get store-bought kind, which you should go to the butcher and get a very fine, coarse. But you know, she's doing what she can. Okay, so with the kibbie, the first thing I need to do is get my bulgur wheat to a finer grain. So for this kind of stuff, for tabbouleh, for kibbie, I'm supposed to use a fine grain of bulgur wheat, usually fine number 2, which is a medium coarse. So I'm going to use my Vitamix and see if I can get this down a little bit. So I just coarse my bulgur wheat and it's much smaller, and so I am going to use a half a cup in the kibbie recipe and a half a cup for my tabbouleh. This is dry still, so I have them right now and I'm going to then soak them and wash them. I mean, I would love to have like a camera hanging down here, but honey, she's not Martha Stewart yet. She's not Giada. She's not even Pioneer Woman. She's just like Chris. Okay, I just got done cleaning off and slightly adding some moisture to my bulgur wheat, and it's looking quite nice. It's a little bit of a delicate balance to not really soak it, but for the kibbie, but to moisten it and then drain some of the excess. Now I'm going to grate an onion into this, which is going to be killer on my makeup. But I need a small onion, and I don't have any. I have a rather huge bulbous one, so I'll be using half of this one. Already smell this is a potent onion. So I'm just going to use a cheese grater for this. I like grating. No, get back in here. What are you doing, buddy? I spoke too soon. Maybe grating isn't the thing. When I told my dad I was going to do this, he was like so happy, I think, because he thinks that I'm like going to hate every part of it. He likes to see me suffer. Guess what? It's actually hard to grate an onion. Can you believe people do this all the time? Ooh, there it is, honey. Ooh, that onion. Ooh. Jiggle, jiggle those Arabic bracelets. I gotta use the other hand. I don't want to have like one big ass muscle. Oh my God. I spoke too soon. This is very much nightmarish. Okay, come on, Chris, just power through. I mean, women in Syria have been doing it forever. Okay. I really blame my dad, because what I'm realizing is if he had any sort of other grater, it wouldn't be so fine, and this wouldn't take me 9 years. Who decided to do this? You know, I feel like that's good. I feel confident this is enough. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to pulse using, instead of a food processor, my Vitamix, which we'll see how that turns out. Some pepper, some salt, the ground meat, and some ice cubes. I like to grind my own herbs at the moment. I feel like it's much more flavorful. I don't like this salt. Now I want to transfer the ground meat, salt, and pepper that I pulsed in this Vitamix into a gallon freezer bag, and I'm going to let it chill for 10 to 15 minutes and work on my dough. It's like red Play-Doh. Now that my hands is washed from the raw meat, I'm going to get my onion and bulgur wheat together, honey. So the onion and bulgur wheat don't know where each stops and where the other one begins. This is how you do it, I guess. This part's rather relaxing. It's fun. Okay, so while my meat is cooling, I'm going to make the hashwi. Why is everything not working? I'm going to toast the pine nuts. I love a pine nut, so I'm going to use a lot. And by a lot, I mean half a cup. Maybe a little, maybe three-fourths a cup. These will not take long. I'm also going to cut the other half of my onion. Honey, after grating, cutting sounds like a dream. Just moving them around the pan. I'm going to use the same pan to do all my browning of my onions and my meat too. So I thought, why not give it a little nutty flavors? I love a nutty flavors. I love this smell of pine nuts. Ugh, there's nothing better. Okay, and cutting my onion. Cutting an onion always makes me feel like a cook. And sometimes when I don't know what I want to eat at night or for any meal, I just cut up onions, throw in garlic, and then be like, what speaks to me from this moment? Because so many things can start from that. Soups, bolognese, tacos, yummy vegetarian dishes, cauliflower rice, stir fries. Okay. Let's get this done now. Okay, so for the hashwi, I'm going to add, I'm going to heat up my pan again. It still has the nutty oil in it. And I'm going to add a little more olive oil. And some clarified butter. Make sure that gets warm before I add my onions. And a half a pound of ground meat. Whatever one you want to do. You know I'm using that ground beef. Ooh, I love me some sizzling onions. Some fell, but I'm going to grab them. Throw them in there. Can I save you, onion, that fell down here? Nope, nope. Sometimes they like to stay friends instead of separating. So you gotta kind of use a spatula to be like, hey guys, go out on your own, be individuals. Don't cuddle together. You need some life experience. Look at my little baby onions. They are getting nice and translucent. My pine nuts is off to the side. Okay, so let's add my beef. Says half a pound, so you know. I'm just chopping it with the cooking wand in there to make sure that my pieces are really, really small. There's a lot of Lebanese grandmas. There's a lot of tetas out there that are gonna watch me do this and be like, no, no, la. Oh, yarabbi, what a jalsa. I like garlic. Garlic makes me happy. It's also very healthy for you. I think it also aids in some immunity. And you know, we could all use some immunity. I feel like I should grade this in. Grade and everything else. Okay, so I'm gonna add some salt. Some pepper. Now, instead of allspice, which is what Julie says, I'm going to use cinnamon and cumin. Cumin? Cumin.
So what I normally like to do is put mint in the outside layer of meat and parsley in the inside.
Okay, we'll do it my dad's way, which is mint on the outside, parsley on the inside. Too bad all this is so labor intensive that I won't be able to eat for another 4 hours.
Well, see, maybe some Lebanese Syrian guy will see you doing this. and say, that's a woman I want in my homemaking Kibbie. But he doesn't know
What do you mean what he doesn't know?
that you don't know how to make Kibbie.
I'm making it right now.
Well, you're trying. We'll see how it turns out.
You better fucking say you like this Kibbie. You better say you like it. I mean, if it's gross, you still are like, and you better eat a lot. Okay, so my hashwi's done, and I am just incorporating the bulgur wheat and the meat that I had in the refrigerator. So it's a dough. I mean, it's a meat dough. It feels like a dough. It's wet, of course, not too mushy, but it feels really, really fun. This part's fun. Slap that dough, honey. Now to the dough, of course, I added some mint. Not a lot, but I kind of like a little greenery added. And in the hashwi, I have parsley and cilantro. Not a lot, but again, just a little touch of green, honey. I'm gonna wash my hands, and we are gonna start making some footballs. All right. Now I have 4 rolled, and I'll show you how I'm rolling them. First, I wet my hands a little bit and then grab about 2 tablespoons, maybe a little bigger, of the dough mixture with the meat, and I start working them in my hands like this, kind of smushing it around, kind of making it into an egg shape, if you will, or football, as we've said. And then when you get that right, take a finger. I have very big fingers, so you could use an index finger. Sometimes I use an index or a pinky. I make a little hole. Now, you don't want the dough to get too wet, but you do want to make sure a little water is on your hands so it doesn't get stuck to your skin. Insert, and then kind of move the Kibbie in a circular motion around your finger. And this is going to make the walls evenly shaped and make sure that the wall is thick enough to sustain the hashwi so it doesn't break in the pan. Okay, little guy, take some of the hashwi mixture. I am doing a bad job. I am spooning it into the middle. Sometimes I take the other side and help jam it in. Don't overstuff it, and try to make sure you're not putting too many big pieces at one time. Again, you don't want to break the Kibbie, but you want it to be a really yummy, flavorful pocket with a treasure inside. So once you're done stuffing the hole, try and pinch the end. I got hashwi all over this ball. Try and pinch the end closed. Now, if you need to grab a little more of the dough to do so and seal it, you know what? I'm not going to tell anyone. This Kibbie ball is not going to tell anyone. They won't know. You can really hide a multitude of sins by adding a little more dough on the outside. Now, I'm going to fry 4 at a time. In my pot, I have maybe about 6 cups of oil, and I've used a mixture of sunflower and peanut oil. You definitely can use canola oil. Because you're frying, I wouldn't use olive oil. So now that this oil is nice and hot, not too hot, but shut up, dog. These Kibbies aren't for you. Honey, people are gonna be barking at me. Let me do me. People are gonna be barking for these Kibbies. Raw Kibbie is also a delicacy in the Lebanese Syrian communities. They call it Kibbie. It's never been for me, but people live or die by Kibbie. Okay. The sweet sound of success. I don't want them to touch. I also don't want them to get stuck to the bottom. It's really a delicate dance. I think I can actually do this little guy in here too. Come on, little guys. You can see they're nice and browning on the underside, and we'll flip them over one. The Kibbie is done. It is just sitting on this paper plate like a queen. And now I'm gonna go on and cook the rest of my meal, which is some tabbouleh and some riz bean. I'm not gonna take you on the whole journey because it's a lot. I didn't expect that. It's my first time making kibbeh. Is that obvious? Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Chris. This is Chris Cooks, honey, the Arab American Heritage Month and the Kibbie Challenge. I challenge you to do either kibbie for the first time or maybe an ethnic dish of your heritage that you haven't tried yet.
Okay, so I've just had a complete Arabic meal made by Chris. Very good for the first time. Very good. Criticisms and good points. The kibbeh meat, outer part of the meat, was seasoned very well, and so was the hashwi. But she didn't roll the ends, so her kibbeh looked like basketballs rather than footballs, number one. It caused the cooking not to cook all the way through, and very little hashwi. And she didn't realize that going through, but the way she rolled it made the outer meat much thicker. Number two, the rice, it was good taste. Could have fluffed it a little bit more, but she thought it was sticky, but I thought it was very good. Tabbouleh was, I thought, exceptional for the first time.
Exceptional
For the first time. Really good taste. Fresh lemon juice, you could tell it was fresh. She chopped by hand the parsley and everything else. Really good. So I'm going to give her, for the overall meal, first time, a B. And teach her how to roll kibbeh a little different. She took a lot of time rolling the kibbeh. And truthfully, when you take a kibbeh ball and you just like this and you get it to a tip on each side, you've already filled it. She probably took 3 minutes, 4 minutes for each kibbeh ball. Could have been in a minute. It would have been a better kibbeh ball. But the taste, surprisingly, was very good. She spiced it really good. And it tasted like a Lebanese kibbeh ball. So I really was, liked it, ate everything on my plate, everything. And it was really done good.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
Happy Arab American Heritage Month.
Thank you.